Life doesn't fall apart all at once. It slips away through habits so ordinary that they never seem dangerous. That's why mastering the 7 habits isn't about becoming more productive. It's about reclaiming the years that quietly disappear while you're busy reacting to everything around you. The hardest truth is this: most people stop living on autopilot only after realizing they've spent years building a life they never consciously chose. But there's one hidden principle that separates those who take control from those who remain trapped in the same patterns, and until the end, that answer will remain incomplete. In The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen R. Covey argues that lasting success isn't built on shortcuts or motivational bursts. It's built on timeless principles that reshape the way we think, decide, and relate to the world. The surprising part is that these habits don't simply improve your schedule. They redefine who you become. And the final habit reveals something that almost everyone overlooks. It's the reason some people continue growing decade after decade, while others slowly lose momentum, even when they seem successful on the surface. Once that connection becomes clear, you'll understand why effectiveness has never been about doing more. The invisible cost of living on autopilot. The greatest risk isn't making the wrong decision, it's never realizing you're making one. Most people believe their lives are shaped by major events: a new job, a financial breakthrough, a personal crisis. Covey challenges that assumption from the very beginning. Our future is usually decided long before those moments arrive, through countless small choices repeated every day without conscious attention. That is the difference between reacting and acting. Reactive people allow circumstances, emotions, and other people's expectations to dictate their direction. A bad morning ruins the day. A difficult colleague controls their mood. An unexpected setback becomes an excuse to postpone meaningful change. Gradually, external events begin to govern an internal life that should have been self-directed. Proactive people operate differently. They recognize that while they cannot control every situation, they always retain ownership over their response. That subtle shift changes everything. It transforms problems into decisions, obstacles into responsibilities, and uncertainty into opportunity. This principle is far more practical than it sounds. Every time frustration appears, there is a brief moment between what happens and how we respond. Most people never notice that space. Highly effective people live inside it. That tiny gap is where better habits are built, stronger character is formed, and lasting change quietly begins. But this is only the first layer of the puzzle. Taking control of your reactions means little if you're moving confidently toward the wrong destination. The next principle reveals why so many hard-working people still end up wasting years of their lives. Being busy is not the same as moving forward. A full calendar can hide an empty purpose. Society rewards movement. Meetings, deadlines, notifications, and endless to-do lists create the comforting illusion of progress. Yet Covey argues that activity alone has never been the measure of an effective life. Many people spend years climbing a ladder without noticing it's leaning against the wrong wall. This is where his 2nd and 3rd habits begin to reshape everything. Before deciding what deserves your time, you must know what deserves your life. Every meaningful achievement is created twice, first in the mind, then in reality. Without a clear personal vision, priorities become vulnerable to whatever feels most urgent in the moment. One of the most powerful examples of this mindset can be seen in Warren Buffett. Despite overseeing one of the world's largest investment empires, Buffett has repeatedly emphasized the importance of protecting time rather than filling it. His calendar has often remained remarkably open, not because he has less to do, but because he understands that constant busyness leaves little room for clear thinking. His extraordinary results come from disciplined focus, not relentless activity. That lesson extends far beyond business. Every unnecessary commitment quietly steals attention from something that truly matters. Every automatic yes often becomes a hidden no to your health, relationships, learning, or long-term goals. Effectiveness is less about adding more and more, about having the courage to eliminate what doesn't belong. But there's an even deeper shift ahead. Knowing your priorities is powerful, yet it still isn't enough to create extraordinary results. The next principle overturns one of the biggest myths about success, and once you see it, it's difficult to look at achievement the same way again. The success principle. Most people get completely wrong. The fastest way to lose is believing someone else must lose first. Many people grow up treating life as a competition with a fixed number of winners. Every opportunity seems scarce. Every achievement by someone else feels like a personal setback. That mindset appears practical, but Covey exposes it as one of the greatest barriers to lasting success. Highly effective people think differently. They operate from what he calls the win-win paradigm. The belief that genuine success is built through cooperation, trust, and mutual benefit rather than constant rivalry. This isn't naive optimism. It's a strategic way of seeing the world that creates stronger relationships, better negotiations, and opportunities that simply don't exist in zero-sum thinking. A striking example comes from the long partnership between Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. Their collaboration lasted for decades, not because they agreed on everything, but because they shared principles instead of competing for recognition. Each challenged the other's ideas, admitted mistakes openly, and celebrated decisions that benefited the whole organization rather than individual egos. Their partnership became one of the greatest examples of how trust can multiply results far beyond what talent alone can achieve. This changes the way we understand influence. Real strength isn't measured by how often you win an argument. It's measured by how often people choose to work with you again. Reputation becomes a form of invisible capital, growing every time integrity outweighs short-term advantage. Yet even this insight leaves one critical question unanswered. Building trust with others is impossible without first mastering something far more difficult. The next principle reveals the hidden skill that determines whether relationships become bridges or barriers. The conversation that changes everything. Most people don't listen to understand, they listen to reply. That single habit silently weakens relationships every day. Conversations become competitions. Advice is offered before understanding. Judgments appear before curiosity. The result is predictable. People feel heard less often than they feel evaluated. Covey presents a radically different approach. Genuine influence begins when the other person believes they have truly been understood. This requires far more than remaining silent while someone else speaks. It demands the discipline to set aside assumptions, suspend the urge to defend yourself, and see the situation through another person's perspective before offering your own. History offers powerful examples of this principle. During the negotiations that helped end apartheid in South Africa, Nelson Mandela became known for listening carefully, even to political opponents who had spent years resisting him. His ability to understand fears without immediately attacking them created space for conversations that many believed were impossible. Listening did not weaken his convictions, it strengthened his ability to lead. The same principle transforms everyday life. Conflicts at work often dissolve when people feel respected before solutions are proposed. Families reconnect when understanding replaces constant correction. Leadership becomes less about authority and more about earning trust through consistent empathy. But even strong relationships and clear priorities can slowly fade if they are never renewed. The final principle before our conclusion reveals why some people continue evolving year after year, while others gradually return to the same patterns they thought they had already escaped. Growth is a habit, not a destination. The moment you stop renewing yourself is the moment you begin falling behind. Many people believe success has a finish line. They reach a goal, build a career, improve their finances, or strengthen a relationship, then assume the hardest part is over. Covey argues the opposite. Without continuous renewal, even the strongest habits slowly lose their power. This is why his final habit is not about achievement, but maintenance. He compares personal growth to sharpening a saw. A dull blade can still cut, but every stroke demands more effort while producing weaker results. The same happens when physical health is ignored. Curiosity fades. Relationships become routine, or reflection disappears from daily life. Progress doesn't collapse overnight, it erodes quietly. The most effective people treat renewal as a non-negotiable discipline. They protect time to learn, to recover, to think, and to strengthen the principles that shaped their success in the first place. They understand that growth is never something completed, it is something practiced. And this final insight reconnects every habit we've explored. Taking responsibility, choosing the right direction, creating win-win relationships, and learning to truly understand others all depend on a person who continues developing instead of operating on yesterday's version of themselves. Now the larger question can finally be answered. If living on autopilot is what steals years from most people, what does it actually take to regain control of your life for good? The answer was never hidden inside a productivity trick or a motivational slogan. It was hidden inside the choices that seemed too small to matter. Living on autopilot doesn't happen because people lack intelligence or ambition. It happens because habits quietly take control while attention is focused elsewhere. Day after day, repeated actions become character. Character becomes direction, and direction eventually becomes destiny. That is why these 7 habits are not 7 isolated techniques. Together, they form a complete system for living intentionally. Becoming proactive gives you control over your responses. Beginning with the end in mind gives your actions a destination. Putting first things first protects what truly matters. Choosing win-win relationships builds trust instead of rivalry. Seeking to understand before being understood transforms the quality of every conversation, and continuous renewal ensures that growth never stops. The question that opened this journey now has its answer. The people who escape autopilot are not the ones with the most talent, the most resources, or the perfect circumstances. They are the ones who repeatedly choose principles over impulses until those principles become second nature. Perhaps the most important realization is that no dramatic transformation is required tomorrow morning. One intentional decision made today is enough to interrupt years of unconscious repetition. Then another, and another. Eventually, what once felt like discipline becomes identity. The life you want is rarely built by one extraordinary moment. It is built by ordinary moments that are no longer left to chance. The moment you begin choosing your habits consciously is the moment you stop wasting your life and finally start living it.